The price of everything. Chapter 1. The Kingdom I Built. The Maserati handles like a dream on the Pacific Coast Highway. Top down, salt air whipping through my hair, and the sunset painting everything gold. I'm 34 years old and I'm untouchable. My phone rings through the car's speakers. I don't recognize the number, some 607 area code. Upstate New York. Probably my hometown, but I left that place in the rearview mirror years ago. I decline the call and turn up the music. Tonight, I'm meeting investors at Nobu. Not real investors. They think they're investing in a revolutionary cryptocurrency platform. In 6 months, their investment will have vanished into a labyrinth of shell companies. And I'll be 20 million richer. They'll be too embarrassed to report it, too worried about looking foolish to their country club friends. This is what I do. This is what I'm good at. I started small. Just me, a laptop, and a gift for reading people. I'd call seniors people who still answered unknown numbers. And I'd be their grandson in trouble, their tax auditor, their bank's fraud department. I had a voice that sounded trustworthy. Earnest. I'd practice in the mirror. Ma'am, I'm so sorry to alarm you, but there's been suspicious activity on your account. The first woman I scammed was named Dorothy. She sent me $8,000 to secure her account. She thanked me for calling. Actually thanked me. I felt a twinge then. Just a small one. I was 23, still had some conscience left. That twinge faded fast when I saw the money hit my account. 5 years later, I wasn't working alone anymore. I had a team. An office in a WeWork space with a motivational poster that said "Dream Big" on the wall. We called ourselves Sentinel Financial Services. Professional website. Fake testimonials. We targeted retirees, specifically people with pensions, with home equity, with Social Security checks and nest eggs they'd spent 40 years building. We were excellent at it. Think of it as a victimless crime, I told my team during our first meeting. These people have more money than they need. They're going to die and leave it to ungrateful kids anyway. We're just redistributing it. My top performer was a guy named Derek. Smooth voice, no conscience, perfect for the job. He could convince a nun to invest in a strip club. Last quarter, he personally brought in $4.7 million. I gave him a Rolex as a bonus. The money poured in. We expanded, hired more callers, developed more sophisticated schemes. I bought a penthouse in Manhattan, a beach house in Malibu. I dated models, flew first class to Tokyo for dinner, bought a watch that cost more than most people's cars. Every night I fell asleep in Egyptian cotton sheets, and I slept like a baby. I never thought about Dorothy, or the hundreds like her. Why would I? I was winning. Last month, we had our company regular party at a rooftop bar in Chelsea. Open bar, catered sushi, a DJ. I gave a speech, champagne glass raised, to another record month. To all of you, we're not just successful, we're unstoppable. Everyone cheered. Derek started a chant of my name. I stood there, master of my empire, king of my world, and I felt invincible. My phone buzzed. That same 607 number. Fourth time this week? I silenced it and ordered another bottle of Dom Perignon. Nothing was going to ruin this. Chapter 2. Christmas in Millbrook. I hadn't been back to Millbrook in 8 years. Small town, small minds, small dreams. I got out the moment I could, and I never looked back. But this Christmas, something pulled me home. Maybe guilt, though I'd gotten good at ignoring that. Maybe curiosity. Maybe just the ego trip of showing them all what I'd become. I rented a Porsche for the drive up, wanted to make an entrance. The town looked exactly the same. Same diner on Main Street. Same gas station where I'd worked at 16. Same church with the crooked steeple. It felt like being trapped in amber. Everyone here just frozen in time while I'd become something more. I drove past my old high school, past the park where Mom used to take me after Dad died, past the library where she'd check out books she was too tired to read after working double shifts. Mom, I hadn't talked to her in, what, 6 months? Maybe longer? She'd call sometimes, and I'd let it go to voicemail. She'd leave messages. Honey, just checking in. Hope work is going well. Love you. I'd text back, busy. Talk soon. Soon never came. I pulled up to her house, the small Cape Cod where I grew up. The lights were off. Weird. It was Christmas Eve, barely past 6. Mom always had the place lit up like a carnival. I knocked. No answer. I tried the door. Locked. Mrs. Williams from next door was putting out her trash. She saw me and her face went white. Thomas? Thomas Brennan? Hey, Mrs. Williams. Merry Christmas. Is my mom? Oh, God. Oh, God, you don't know. Her hand went to her mouth. I've been calling you. We've all been calling. The world tilted. What are you talking about? Your mother. Thomas, she died. 3 months ago. I called you. I left messages. The funeral. We had to do it without you. The air left my lungs. That's not. She can't be. She had a heart attack. Right there in the kitchen. Thomas, where have you been? I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. What happened? Why didn't anyone I didn't know? Mrs. Williams's expression shifted from shock to something harder. You didn't answer your phone? Any of your phones? We tried for weeks. What happened to her? She hesitated. Then, maybe you should come inside? In her kitchen, over tea I couldn't taste, Mrs. Williams told me everything. Mom had been contacted by a financial advisor from Sentinel Financial Services. Professional. Courteous. He explained that her pension wasn't optimized, that she could get better returns. He had all the right credentials, all the right answers. She trusted them, Mrs. Williams said, because she said her son Thomas worked in finance in New York. She thought if she ever had questions, she could ask you. That made her feel safe. The floor dropped out from under me. She invested everything. Her pension. Her savings. She even took out a reverse mortgage on the house because they said she could triple her money. They said it was guaranteed. No, she didn't. And then one day, it was all gone. The company stopped answering. The website disappeared. Your mother tried calling them for weeks. When she finally understood what happened, Mrs. Williams's voice cracked. She called me sobbing. Said she'd lost everything. Everything your father left her. Everything she'd saved. I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. I tried to help. We all tried. But Thomas, she was so ashamed. She kept saying, how could I be so stupid? I should have known. I should have asked Thomas. But you never answered when she called. Who? My voice didn't sound like mine. Who was the advisor? Mrs. Williams pulled out a folder. Fake advisory contracts. Fake bank documents. A name highlighted in yellow. Derek Morrison. My top performer? The guy I gave a Rolex to? The guy who'd personally brought in $4.7 million last quarter. He'd scammed my mother. The stress. Mrs. Williams continued. Tears now. She had the heart attack 2 weeks after she realized. I found her in the kitchen. She was already gone. She was holding her phone, Thomas. She'd been trying to call you. The room spun. I was going to be sick. We couldn't find you for the funeral. No one knew where you were. We buried her next to your father. I'm so sorry. I stumbled out of her house and made it to the Porsche before I vomited in the gutter. My mother, my mother who'd worked 3 jobs to put me through college, who'd believed in me when no one else did, who'd been proud of her son in finance. I'd killed her. Not directly, not with my hands, but I'd built the machine that destroyed her. I'd hired Derek. I'd trained him. I'd created Sentinel Financial Services specifically to prey on people like her. And when she'd called me, probably terrified, probably desperate, I'd been too busy enjoying champagne at my whatever party to answer. I drove to the cemetery, found her grave in the dark. Fresh headstone, Margaret Brennan, beloved friend. I fell to my knees in the snow and I screamed. Chapter 3. The Reckoning. The FBI came for me 4 months later. I'd stopped running the company after that Christmas. Just stopped. Left Derek in charge, didn't care. I spent months in my penthouse, drinking, not sleeping, seeing Mom's face every time I closed my eyes. When they knocked on my door with a warrant, I felt relief. Finally. The trial was a circus. They had everything. Every call. Every transaction. Every victim. The prosecutor stood up with a poster board showing faces, hundreds of them. Elderly faces. These are the people Mr. Brennan stole from, she said. Dorothy Henderson, 73, lost her entire retirement. William Miller, 81, lost his home. Margaret Brennan, 68, his own mother lost everything and died shortly after. The jury looked at me like I was something they'd scraped off their shoes. I pled guilty. All counts. My lawyer said I was insane. I told him I didn't care. The judge gave me 8 years. Said it would have been more. But my cooperation in taking down the organization and my clear remorse counted for something. Mr. Brennan, she said, looking at me with disgust, you stole not just money, but security. Peace of mind. You stole people's ability to trust. I hope you spend every day of your sentence thinking about what you've done. I will, Your Honor, I said, for the rest of my life. Prison was exactly what I deserved. Worse, actually. I should have gotten 20 years. 40. I had a cellmate named Raymond in for armed robbery. He asked what I was in for. Fraud. Elder fraud. He moved his stuff as far from me as possible. Man, I might rob people, but at least I had the balls to do it to their face. You stole from old people on the phone? That's low. Even criminals have standards. I spent 8 years thinking, reading, writing letters to every victim I could identify. Most went unanswered. Some came back with words that cut deeper than any blade. I hope you rot. You're a monster. My mother took her own life because of what you did. That last one I kept, pinned above my bunk. Read it every morning. I deserved every word. Chapter 4. The Long Atonement. I got out 3 years ago. 42 years old, a felon, with nothing but the clothes I was released in and a bus ticket to Manhattan. The penthouse was gone. The cars, the watches, the beach house, all seized and auctioned off to pay restitution. I had $300 to my name and nowhere to go. I ended up in a halfway house in Queens. Got a job washing dishes. At night, I volunteered at a senior center, the only place that would take me once they knew my story. You scammed elderly people? The director Maria asked during my interview. Yes, including my own mother. She stared at me for a long time. Why should I let you anywhere near the people here? Because I know every trick, every scam, every manipulation. I can teach them how to protect themselves. Or you could hurt them again. I could. But I won't. And if you need insurance, I'll wear an ankle monitor. I'll work for free. I'll do whatever it takes. But I need to do this. I need to try to fix what I broke. She let me in, on probation. Watched. I started teaching classes, protecting yourself from financial scams. First session had 4 people. I stood up there, sweating, and I told them the truth. My name is Thomas Brennan. 8 years ago, I ran a company that scammed hundreds of elderly people out of their life savings. I stole millions of dollars. My own mother was one of my victims, and the shock killed her. I went to prison. I deserved worse. Now I'm here to teach you every trick I used, so no one can do to you what I did to them. Dead silence. Then an old man in the back raised his hand. What was the most effective thing you said to people? That I was calling from their bank's fraud department, that their account was compromised, and I needed to verify information to protect them. And people believed that? Every time. Because I sounded official. I had details, and people want to trust that someone's trying to help them. Over the next months, the classes grew. Word spread. I taught them about phishing emails, about IRS scams, about romance scams on Facebook, about every filthy trick I'd used or taught others to use. I saved Mrs. Patterson from sending $10,000 to a grandson in trouble. I helped Mr. Rodriguez recognize a fake charity call. I taught Rosa how to check if a financial advisor was licensed. Every person I helped, I felt a tiny bit less heavy, a tiny bit less monstrous, but only a tiny bit. Last month, I got a letter from Dorothy Henderson, the first woman I ever scammed. Mr. Brennan, I attended one of your talks at the community center. I recognized your name from the trial. I'm 86 now. You stole $8,000 from me 24 years ago. That was my emergency fund. When I got sick 2 years later, I almost lost my home because I didn't have savings for medical bills. I want you to know that I don't forgive you. I'm not writing to grant absolution. But I also want you to know that you saved my friend Gladys from losing $50,000 last month. She came to your class and recognized the scam immediately. I don't know what to do with that. You're both the person who hurt me and the person who saved my friend. I hope you never stop teaching, but I hope you never forget what you did either. I read that letter 20 times, cried over it, pinned it next to the one that said, I hope you rot. Both are true. Both will always be true. Chapter 5. The Man Who Lives and Dies. Today, I taught a class of 35 people, showed them a script from my old company, explained the psychological manipulation point by point, helped an 80-year-old woman set up 2-factor authentication on her email. Afterward, she hugged me. Thank you, young man. You probably saved me a lot of trouble. Young man. I'm 48. But to her, I guess I am. She'll never know I'm the same kind of person who would have destroyed her life 10 years ago. Maria stopped me as I was leaving. Thomas, there's a church in Brooklyn that wants you to speak next month, and a library in Connecticut. You're getting requests from all over. I'll do them all. You can't save everyone, you know. You can't undo, I know. But I can try. At night, I go back to my studio apartment. Small, clean, nothing like the penthouse. I eat dinner standing at the counter. Usually something simple, something I don't have to think about. Then I write emails to victims, apologizing again. Some never respond. Some tell me to fuck off. Some say they appreciate it but can't forgive me. One woman said, I forgive you, but I still hate you. I understand that completely. I've saved maybe 200 people from scams in the last 6 years. Given talks to thousands more. The community center gave me an award last year for outstanding service to senior safety. I accepted it and immediately felt sick. I don't deserve awards. I deserve the opposite of awards. But if they want to give me platforms to teach people, I'll take them. I'll use every opportunity to tear down the system I helped build. I visit Mom's grave every few months. Bring flowers. Tell her what I'm doing. I saved 12 people this month, Mom. Taught them about Medicare scams, about fake charities, about the exact lies I used to tell. The stone doesn't answer. Of course it doesn't. I know it doesn't matter. Doesn't bring you back. Doesn't undo what I did. But I'm trying. I'm really trying. The wind blows. A crow caws somewhere. The world moves on, indifferent to my guilt. I think about Dorothy's letter sometimes. You're both the person who hurt me and the person who saved my friend. That's the truth of it. I'm both. I'll always be both. I saved 200 people. I destroyed 800. The math doesn't work out. It never will. People thank me now. Call me a hero. Someone wrote an article. From scammer to savior. I wanted to burn it. I'm not a savior. I'm an arsonist who's trying to put out fires while the whole forest still burns from what I started. But I keep going to the classes. Keep teaching. Keep answering calls from worried seniors who saw something suspicious. Keep trying to dismantle, piece by piece, the industry I helped perfect. Some days I think about what I had. The Maserati. The penthouse. The champagne nights. I remember how it felt to be untouchable. Then I remember Mom's gravestone. Dorothy's stolen $8,000. The woman who took her own life. The hundreds of faces on that poster board. I'm alive, but I'm dead. I died in a cold, lonely cell that I deserved to be in, staring at a letter that said, I hope you rot. The thing walking around now, teaching classes and writing apologies, isn't the same person who drove that Porsche home for Christmas. That person is gone. Deserves to be gone. What's left is just obligation, debt, penance without end. Maybe in another 20 years, if I save 1,000 more people, the scale will tip slightly less in the wrong direction. Maybe not. Probably not. But I'll keep going. Because stopping would be the final betrayal. The final cruelty. I owe every moment of the rest of my life to trying to undo what I did. I owe it to Dorothy. To all the Dorothys. I owe it to Mom. Tonight, there's another class. 40 people signed up. I'll teach them about cryptocurrency scams. Show them my old pitch. Explain every manipulation. I'll save maybe 3 of them from losing everything. 3 people who won't end up like my mother. It's not enough. It will never be enough. But it's all I have. So I keep going. The dead man teaching the living, hoping for peace that will never come.